Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me to share with you our experience in Guatemala in Central America performing leasing operations and how this has been contributing in the economy of Guatemala and the rest of the Central America. For these purposes, I will cover the following agenda with general information about Central America, what is leasing, importance of leasing for SMEs in developing countries, establishing leasing services in Guatemala, barriers and profitability in the leasing business, and how do SMEs contribute to poverty reduction and in development in Guatemala. Is it smarter to buy or lease? In developed countries, talking about leasing, it means a very useful financial tool to renew assets and avoid obsolescence, to have a nice car available for use without the need to buy it, a lifestyle choice. Tax advantage, financial statement indicators, lower financial rates, expand financial volumes. Leasing in Guatemala. The Guatemalan market size is around $300,000 million. Arrend assets are 100 million US dollars and is growing through expanding its operation outside of Guatemala. We are attending 2,000 SMEs, 1,000 individual persons. Our competitors are being concentrated in the biggest countries of Guatemala, but Arrend is maintaining its portfolio diversified in all segments and all industries. Keeping a good balance, do not put all the eggs in the same basket. We are proud of our leadership in leasing development in Central America for 20 years. Guatemala Group companies have presence in Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, and Nicaragua. Guatemala leasing has presence also in the other countries, but just Guatemala was being rated by Fitch. And right now, our group is the largest non-banking leasing in the Central America. We have a strategic location in the middle of America, in the northern Central America. Guatemala is the most biodiverse country and is just behind Costa Rica, that has the greatest amount of flora and fauna. Land of opportunities, exceptional living conditions from 7 to 30 degrees Celsius, colonial past, multiple cultures, traditions, and customs. In Guatemala, there are 23 languages. Populations, Guatemala, 16 million, Central America, 42 million. 51 of them are women. The number of working women in Guatemala is increasingly reaching approximately 2 million. But this is a problem because 71% of them are being incorporated in the informal economy. On the other hand, we have good news because Guatemala is in the 8th place in the world of women in management positions. Our macroeconomic indicators are GDP, 59 billion US dollars, GDP per capita around 4,000 US dollars, international ratings BB, and the GDP in Guatemala is the biggest in the region, representing 34% followed by Costa Rica and Panama with a big difference of $20 billion. The exchange rate has been stable for more than 12 years, and the other indicators remain stable. But the macroeconomic stability is not good enough because we have main issues in Central American countries. We have health, education, agriculture, modernization, transport, corruption, violence. Guatemala is in the top 5 with rates of chronic malnutrition. According to Christian School from UNICEF, is only surpassed by countries such as Afghanistan, Yemen, but those countries are poor because they have internal conflicts like war, he said. Lack of hospital, medical equipment, and universal health. Education illiteracy. Guatemala is ranked in the 2nd place in Central America of total illiteracy. However, has the 1st place of women illiterate. SMEs is using obsolete agriculture methodologies, even though it represents 13% of the GDP. Norway was there in 1915. Guatemala is in there in 2015. Poor public transport. Public transportation has been a target of crime and violence in Guatemala. And as a result, people do not want to use the public transportation. And it usually takes from 3 to 6 hours to go and come from their work. And this is where leasing can avoid these problems, and not just for transport. Leasing can help in health, education, and agriculture modernization. But what is leasing? Leasing is just a form of access to finance. It's a contract between 2 parties, where one party, the lessor, like Arrend, provides an asset for use by another party, the lessee. And this is the most important point of difference with the loans, because we provide assets, we don't provide money. And we can give machinery, equipment, tools, building, everything, for a period of time in return for specified payments. Leasing is a powerful tool to provide medium-term financing to invest in productive and logistical equipment. Helps finance to SMEs to access to new technology. It is based that in the assumption that income is earned through the use of assets. And that is important also. It enables SMEs to leverage an initial cash deposit with the inherent value of the asset being purchased acting as collateral. Usually, leasing don't ask for down payment. Focusing on the lessee ability to generate cash flow from business operations to service the lease payment rather than the balance sheet or on the past credit history. Because usually, SMEs don't have access to the financial system. Leasing plays a critical role, allowing small businesses to reach the formal business. Also, leasing helps because once informal businesses have access to lease financing, they begin building a financial credit history. With this opportunity, small businesses also find additional incentive to join the formal sector. Leasing also helps in strengthening the financial sector. Why? Because leasing has low delinquency rates. The example of Arrend is that we have less than 1% of delinquency rates. The product is safe and reliable because the lease assets are the guarantee, because the repossess is very quickly. Help financial institutions and banks to diversify their products in the emerging market and developing countries. Equity investors tend to accept lease arrangements as the warranty of their investment. Reducing poverty. Normally, government helps to reduce poverty by creating and unifying policies and programs aimed to increase the capacity to implement and identify opportunities and develop a business with SMEs and individual persons. This is where SMEs and individual persons, through leasing, can acquire machinery, tools, and equipment to meet the program's objective of education, health, transport, in sustainable service in long term. SMEs contribute to poverty reduction in Guatemala because they play an important role in the economy. 85% of the export comes from this sector. SMEs provide employment opportunities, contributing in the economic growth and poverty reduction. According to World Bank, it is estimated that SMEs contribute 40% to GDP and create just under 90% of the total employment. So, what we need to do in order to increase leasing business in Guatemala and also in Central America, in order to contribute to reduce poverty, reduction, and development in Guatemala. Okay, this is our wish list. Raise awareness, build capacity, mobilize investment capital, and the most important, allowing access to low financial costs for SMEs. Special funding to implement governmental projects, more competitive funding. Also, we need strength and create local and regional leasing associations. Work with the governments to create appropriate legal framework for leasing. Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua don't have law. Personally, I have 15 almost years fighting for have a law. Also, need challenges to SMEs, because in order to be successful, the SMEs need structures and entrepreneurial challenge to be competitive, productive, and profitable. Because the only way the SMEs can counteract the increasingly and aggressive competition is being creative, innovative, proactive, and sustainable. Because our dreams are to reduce violence, poverty, corruption, to create strong projects in health, education, transport, agriculture, modernization, by stop wishing and start doing. Generating working capital, making SMEs successful to generate prosperity and reduce the gap. Even if it seems impossible to achieve, we can create a better future for Central America. Thank you. A warm welcome.